it's the 13th of September and I'm about to start working on Jack again. Over the weekend I was away, but I managed to get a little bit done on the tutorial stuff, which you can see right now. I'm just going to show you the Hall of Mirrors for 1 second to make sure everything's recording okay. Okay, seems to be okay. Okay. Yeah, basically I have that problem until I get a second monitor. Yeah, I'm working on basically on the tutorial. Well, I would say kind of an interactive manual at the moment. I'll run it now, show where I am, and probably make a couple of notes to see where I need to be. Yeah, there's still a few bugs in the stuff I was working on in my last stream, but I need to catch up on what that was. Right, let's see where we are. Okay, so you basically hit the question mark, which is kind of hint, manual, help. You know, I couldn't really think of a better icon for that. I might change hint to manual and just say page or something, because right now it just... Yeah, a few people have said maybe that looks a bit like I should have to, like, if this was on a mobile device, I'd have to actually be pressing the screen. So imagine there's no cursor there, like, should I be doing that and should it react? Obviously it won't, because it's basically, this is an animation that's driving the game code here, actually. This is actually using the same physics that I'm using in the rest of the game. It's actually not identical physics, it's similar. I actually lop off a tiny bit of the height, so that I don't go over the bar up there. Small hack, but it's fine. Yeah, so it shows you tap quickly to jump, tap and hold to jump higher. And the nice thing is, because it's all running on one timer, it updates live when you hit next and previous. And then there's a tap mid jump. It's such a the wording is so cumbersome. I feel like maybe if I hyphenated that it would kind of help, but tap mid jump to whip. It feels like it should say tap again mid jump to whip, but it's fine. I mean, that's what the visual side of it's for. It's not okay, right. I know what that's doing. And then these don't have any images yet. I mean, that's probably... I don't even know if I'm actually going to have an image for this. Yeah, it feels like some of these don't really need images. Like, and that's like maybe I should... I don't know. It feels like some of this stuff should have images and some of it shouldn't. Like, as soon as it gets to like whipping candles. Yeah, so whipping a candle, I can show like an image of a candle underneath, or maybe even show all of them, like 1, 2, 3, 4, like across all the levels, like what they'll all look like, so you can kind of see. That's kind of what I was thinking of with the obstacles. I could have them here in a row, and I could do the same here, like have something underneath. So I could have some kinds of annotations. It's just the problem is it opens up with something that's very visually. Well, the focus of the information here is the image. The text is an annotation basically, and this is full text. So it's. I mean, manuals do have pages of text. It's just because this is interactive, it just feels a bit strange. It's like it's front loaded at the moment. So I'm just gonna make a few quick notes of where I could actually update some with some images, like run speed, maybe not. It almost feels like that should be before. I probably need to reorder some of these. And I don't even know if that's even relevant. Like, control the height of a jump by holding the jump for longer. Like, well, yeah, that's what that's for. Like, maybe that should just follow this and it should be like a further explanation. I might just do that. It's just, it's quite nice to see, like, the evolution of, like, information. Like, how I'm giving it out to the player. It's like tap, then tap hold, then double tap. Well, it's essentially a double tap. It isn't a double tap because I specifically don't want to say that because I think it'll confuse people. Like, I've seen people who are playing it and haven't quite got it at first, and they're like frantically hitting the screen, like thinking that they need to like do a full jump and then kind of quickly put in a double tap. And of course you don't need to double tap because you've already tapped to jump. It's just, yeah. Why did I make this control scheme again? Yeah, I mean, in some ways, like this is sort of a. It was an experiment to see if you could do something that didn't involve having on-screen buttons or splitting the screen in half or whatever. But I think it's an experiment that kind of failed. I don't know. Going too fast. Yeah, so this would just have images at the bottom. Like I'd move that up like 2 lines and stick the grass, the snow, and the fruit flies, water or something. Yeah, maybe just water around there and stick some platforms and stuff on. Maybe. That could be interesting, actually. Like, just have some kind of animated section there. Yeah, maybe. That fly, you know. Fucking thing. Okay, yeah, so I think this is all quite low priority, though. I mean, I've got a few like little niggles with it, like when he jumps, there's no effects right now. He's not doing. There's no squash and stretch in the animation. I did kind of want to do that and get it on video so that I could kind of show people how I do it. It's a really subtle effect, but it does. Like in this, it doesn't really make that much of a difference because you're watching it, but when you're playing, it feels better when you've got that like kind of squash and stretch thing going on. It makes a big difference to how the game feels. But yeah, it's kind of polished up. It's not really bug fixes as such. Okay. Fly, man. Okay, so where were we in the game? So I was working on the. Yeah, that was it. I was going to reorganize this menu. Okay. Actually, I need to check the Hall of Mirrors again. Okay, that needs to move up a little bit. I'm just trying to cover my notifications. Sorry. This is very messy. There we go. You can see a bit of the date down there. That's fine. It's fine. I might fix that as well. Apparently the mouse cursor disappears after pausing. It's pretty annoying. Because even when I die, it's still gone. But yeah, I basically want to add a home button here. So basically, right now, it's not a big deal, and a lot of games don't. They also have the same problem where to actually get out of the game, I can obviously pause it. This is a bad example because it just died. The music's all out of sync for some reason. So yeah, this is the problem. I can't see my mouse. Okay, so to get out of the game now, if I pause, I can move the pause button around, and I can mess around with the settings, but I actually can't like quit the game. So what I'm going to do is add basically go back to menu button. And I'm trying to work out what kind of scale that should be like. I don't really want it to be in words. I don't really like the fact that this is in words, but I couldn't really think of a way of. I couldn't really think of an elegant way of conveying that you're moving the pause button in a single image like that. Like that's pretty obvious, and that's a little less so, and that makes sense based on the pop-up. Which I could do the same here. I could just have a pause button, and when you hit it, it says pause move along the bottom, but it just felt like it should have been a bigger button because it's making an effect on the screen, you know. So I was thinking of maybe having a home button, like moving this to one side. It's just, I'm trying to think of a way of making this look nice. It's such a minor thing that it bothers me. Because yeah, I'd like to be able to go back to the home screen like whenever. Sorry, I'm still getting over a cold. which I always seem to be whenever I'm doing this for some reason. Where's my mouse? Yeah, so here I've got them in a little grid, and I was thinking maybe doing the same thing on the pause screen, like, but just sort of moving it to one side, and then having like maybe the pause thing here and a little home thing there, like maybe changing the shape. I don't know. The home thing makes sense because obviously it's something that you don't want to hit all the time, and it's separate. It's not like something that you're toggling. You're actually quitting the game at that point. I think maybe if I have it in a grid of like 4 like this, and then having the pause move underneath, I could have the home button here, and then I could have a tick and a cross that pops up underneath, so that if you hit it, you could choose to back out and carry on your game. I mean, it doesn't matter too much, I don't think. I need to do achievement notifications as well. It's just so like basically doing this with the home button, so there's a choice. So you can either hit it to get out, or you can hit across to back out. I do need to do achievement notifications. I need to make that a note. Oh, sorry, I didn't. Yeah, okay. So I've got the chat and a pop-up now. Like, I don't think there's anyone viewing, so it's okay. But yeah, like until I get a second monitor, I can't really very well push the channel too much either. So yeah, I feel like these need to change order slightly. I'll work that out. It's such a minor thing. I need to see why the music was a bit screwed up though. I'm gonna just run the game again. It's gonna be one of those days when I get a shitload done, but I get a load of things done I need. This all seems okay. I mean, that's basically my tutorial where it's just, I wanted to have a manual as well, just to explain some of the intricacies. There's not many, it's quite a simple game. Okay, so all this works. This is all fine. So I need to get the achievement notifications done. It's quite an easy task. I've just got to do the artwork. I'll probably pop it up at the bottom because it's the least, in a game like this, it's the least intrusive. There's the least amount of information at the bottom of the screen. Like, because this is meant to work on iPad and iPhone, the top and the bottom and the sides are kind of not that. There's never really anything too important happening. Like, obviously the top is where the UI is, but that scales based on whatever the dimensions of the device is. Unfortunately, left and right, I do show more on iPhone, so you are at a slight advantage if you play the game on iPhone. Slight. You see more on iPad, I guess, like up and down, but because I do render more of the sky or more of the underground section, but it's not a great deal. This is all okay. Okay, cool. I need to review the hint system. This is the kind of thing I want to do on the weekend. Like, I'll probably do a longer stream over the weekend, but I'm going to really hammer that manual section home, like, sort of just really get all that done for the weekend. Okay. So I've got... Right, so this is something I might do now, actually. So if I go back, this will be a frozen sprite. I'm going to fix that bug, it's really starting to annoy me. This may not be an interesting stream, but it's needed. Right. Okay. I really should hit my bug list. I'm just kind of picking at the game at the moment. I think it's because it's so close to being done. So that's in the quote screen, right? There should be a guy floating around up here somewhere. There he is. Need to find out where that is, because that's the thing that's not showing. Yeah, I really should get some like stream music or something, like something that won't get me like a strike on my YouTube channel or anything, but there must be some stuff for that. Because I'm not always running the game. In fact, when I'm working properly, I'm not running it at all. Set animation frame to character select. Oh, I see. Right, so I basically made a duplicate of the player character, and based on the character you selected, I set a like little frame of animation. So I guess I chose a frame that I thought looked good for that character. And then they're positioned around the screen. So basically it's for when you're selecting your color scheme, it also shows which character you've picked, so you can kind of make a decision based on that. You can go back and change it. But it was broken on iPad for some reason. Basically, because I've explained this before, but basically I use a number of like shader effects, I guess, to change the color of the game. Like, and for some reason, if you ever used alpha and a shader effect on iPad, only on iPad, it wouldn't render anything, so it'd be just black. Or no, sorry, wherever there was alpha, it would just render black. So like basically, alpha is I can't remember which way around it is, 0 or 255. Basically, it was doing the opposite of what it should have been doing. But they fixed it, Syrah, or Skira. I'm pretty sure it would be Syrah, but people seem to call them Skira. But yeah, they fixed it, so that's cool. Right. I'm just going to try and run it and see if I've actually got the character set up. Because if I do, there's a chance that the bug isn't actually related to that and it's something else. Alright, so yeah, if I choose like Jack Frost. Huh. His colour's not changed. Why is that? Does that mean... Okay, and his overlay was broken then as well. So if I go back, that happened with him. Oh wow, that's a totally new issue. And he's oh shit. That's not good at all. Right. There's something more to this. Where am I setting the colours? It can't be here, surely. Actually, I'm just gonna get a drink. I'll be back. Hello! Oh, gods of gold. I don't know if you're still here or not. Does this work? Is everything back on? Yeah, cool. Awesome. Right. Where were we? Right, trying to get to the bottom of this bug. Does that stay on top? No, it doesn't. I wish I could integrate that into this window, like basically have it as another tab within Construct. That'd be really nice. Okay, so two problems. One, the sprite wasn't colored, and the other one was that these sprites, which should no longer be a thing, they were getting affected. Why would they still be getting affected? This might take a little while to work out. So it's definitely when you hit the preview window. So let's see what that does. I think it'll be when the menu state changes. This is way more complicated than it needs to be, but it's old, so that's why. Okay, that's a bunch of stuff with the new throbbing feedback, which I've got now. That's cool, that works well. I need to do a bit more testing with it, but it's basically done. That was a nice, easy win. Right, so yeah. So that's the hint section, menu states, color, that's the one, so I need to check that. I hate when I find stuff like that, it's like, it's not doing anything. What was it doing at some point? So someone was invisible. There's something that's setting... Something's setting an animation, or just stopping an animation. Just gotta look for animation stop somewhere. Alright, it's gotta be in one of these things, it's gotta be. This is the thing that sets them all visible and whatnot when you're set animation locked shape from beginning. No, that's the wrong animation. It's gotta be here somewhere. The fact that these are struck out worries me a bit. Because I feel like maybe these were being referenced or still are somewhere else. This is it. This is the stuff, stop animation. I basically... It looks like I forgot to disable these things. I think... Yeah, I'm just going to show everything and see if I can... There's definitely nothing hidden there. Characters... Hints, no. Options, no. preview window. I think it could be that. Right, so I think the problem is I'm still trying to change something and I'm not changing the preview sprite anymore. And I can't remember where I do that with the colors. It could be in variables. Nope. Options, and I really wish I made a colors sheet because it's really hard finding anything anymore. Variables quote game. Huh. I swear I changed it all in variables. Color select, debug color keys. Nope. It's got to be in options then. See any other place it could be. There they are. Right. So when did I change that system? Because he's only in one place. If I moved that... Right, I see what I did. I've set up the animation so the original origin point of the object is at the base of the first frame. So if I was to say I wanted if you were to choose Jack Lantern, I'd set him as the second frame, which is frame 1. Because frame 0 is the first frame, and I made his origin point offset in the file. So if you open up the sprite sheet, we'll zoom in a little bit so you can see zoom in so that I can still see the animations. And crucially, this thing here, which is the origin point, the origin point to his feet on frame 2. It's offset, so the object will use the original origin point but offset everything else, so I can kind of move the sprites around the image without actually moving the object itself. It's kind of a cool way of doing things. It's similar to how I do the shaking, because obviously this is an animation that isn't moving, but if I was to say make that a moving animation, you'd see it move around the screen, so you can technically use it to do not screen shake, but asset shake. It's pretty cool. I'll make an example project for it and do a tutorial sometime. Like, that's kind of the first one I want to do. Right, this is really confusing me now because I've obviously done this, like set up this guy to move around the screen, but it's not... It's not taking the color change. Like, should that just be set up like that? Like, maybe I need to make that... Maybe I need to make the color change the same as everything else. So it should be 217. I mean, that could be it. It could be that easy. Let's have a look. If that is the case, then it just means the problem is I've got two systems running next to each other, both unfinished systems. Fuck no, it's still black and white. And it's obviously going to freeze that. Why? Why are you doing this to me? Fuck. When did I make this change? Because I'm assuming I want to do it this way. I don't want to... Because the other way is basically... What's happening is that I'm using this... So I can get... Oops. I'm using this... That's a really bad example because I can't actually find it. Is it in background? Yeah, so this is kind of hard to tell, but you see this darker square here. All of the other characters are there. So when you are in the selection screen, here, they are there and they're basically just sliding out, although for some reason this guy's on the wrong layer. That's an easy fix, but it's strange. Because these are actually running game code, they're not just a little cutout like this guy is. It's really, really, really odd that I've got these two different systems going at once. I figure it's just because there was a gap in time from when I was working on it, and I basically just lost the track of what I was originally doing, I guess. I know that I had something working perfectly on iPhone, and I just had to ditch it for iPad. And I can't release two separate versions because I've already released something once, and Apple doesn't let you change it. It's time to warm up. So yeah, I'm not sure which way to go. To go with the static one, which I guess I can control a little more, or go with the other one that seems to have a load of code attached to it, which could have knock-on effects, which it currently does. I mean, that sliding over thing that they're doing, that's because there's a load of code attached that really shouldn't be, or at least not anymore. So this is that's just unlocking the color schemes. So where was it? Character. So this is all the stuff for the animation. So basically, there's things like on roughly every other frame, feet hit the ground. So I make a little cloud of dust behind the character. That's what all this stuff's for. But within this, there will be set local key. Okay, that's for the unlock stuff. This is determining which character is going to show on screen. I've actually lost the character section that I was working in before. This menu is driving me crazy. There's so much stuff in it. Around here somewhere. Now I can't find it. Is it up the top? Let's just search for one of them. Just narrow it down a little more. So Frost is getting pinned behind as well. So that is just bizarre. So this is all to sort the layers out. Where's the one that set the animation up? Here? Here, right. Okay, got it, right. So on touch start, on game center it. Of course it autosaves now, as soon as I get like a flow going. Fuck's sake. I'm just going to disable all this stuff and see if it fixes the problem, and then add the functionality back in afterwards. Because it does look a lot like I've deleted these assets. So basically it was looking for a character with the ID of 486 and then 529. So it sounds like what I used to have was a bunch of different characters spread around the image, and I just changed the animation and the attack based on that particular one. So what's happening now is it's looking for those IDs. Well, in fact, it's not even looking for those IDs because I've disabled them. So because it's not even looking for those things, which if I actually enable all these things, it should fix the problem. It's actually the opposite. I don't need to. What the fuck is that? It seems I've got all of that again, just copy pasted. This is a real mess. Yeah, I need to fix this now. Apologies if it's dull stream. Right. Okay, so People are all moving, doing their thing. Got a little wavy dude. Doesn't change colour. He's not changing. We'll look into that in a second. Go back. Fixed. So what I've done is copy pasted all of. I basically got all the stuff to make this work. Although I do need to see if that's. Yeah, even that's fixed now. Okay, yeah. So that was clearly an issue with whatever I was doing before, because even the sort order thing's fixed. Okay, cool. So what I'd done is basically, because I needed to rip out the character from here, I copy pasted everything, disabled it all, and then didn't fix the problem. That's basically how it looks. And now, come to think of it, oh, this sucks. So the problem is, I committed to not having the character on this screen because I didn't think it was going to get fixed. Because to be fair, everything I've had, every problem I've had with Construct that has been iOS specific hasn't been fixed. There's still stuff like the 9 patch, which is, well, basically what these platforms are. Not this one, it's a static image, but in-game. Those are all 9 patches, so on iPhone they appear blurry, and that has not been fixed, and it probably won't be. So I kind of gave up. So I thought, I'll just rip it out. I still don't know why I had a second version. But anyway, the way I recolor this image, I used to do it based on a layer, but now I've done it based on the asset. So I used to just change the layer, which had both this background asset and this character asset, so I only had to do all the code once. Now I've changed everything. I believe I deleted it and just made it for the assets, so now I have to do it as 2 separate assets. So now I have to do double the code. And it means typing in roughly, what? 12. Yeah, like about 48 different numbers manually, where I have to click on them, type in the number, hit enter, then click, and I have to do that 48 times. So it's like that is not good streaming material at all. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what I've done. It's weird. It's like going through the my brain in the past. Fucking mess. I'm just going to do a full. I'm going to look through every single text file I've got in this project to see if I can find even a single reference to this character. This little dude. I'm going to go through one by one, just in case. There could be something. You never know. And I apologise for my microphone picking up me hitting the enter key like rather hard. Ah, the curse. I do need to put that back in the game at some point. Basically, there was a certain set of things you could do, and it would make the game run in black and white, because, you know, it was cursed, like in Castlevania 2. Heavy-handed reference. But I've got a better idea for it now. Quote stayed open. Good. And I want to do that at some point as a sort of bonus extra. I might do it in a later release, like once I've got this all out of the way. But yeah, I've got an idea for that, so I want to kind of keep that open. Because you can now play the game black and white whenever you want. I really wanted to mirror the game, so that when you got cursed, basically the entire game was flipped except the UI. But that's incredibly difficult to do in Construct for some reason. I would have to like basically reverse all of my maths and all that kind of stuff, and like, yeah, there were a lot of issues. I tried doing it, it was just, well, yeah, more time consuming than I wanted to admit. Follow. Oh, do. Words. Right, so if that is literally the only... I mean, I set it to invisible on a bunch of... like whenever the menu's in a different state, except on the preview screen. Fuck. Yeah, I don't think I did it. I think wherever I set colors, I am not doing it on that sprite anymore. That is really quite annoying. Yeah, so there used to basically be, instead of... I'll show you what I've been talking about. So basically, this sprite has these effects attached to it. Actually, the same ones as... well, not quite, actually. There's a... oh, wait. If this fixes it, I'm not going to jinx it. This better fix it. It's worth a try. It's a bad example. That level hasn't got art done for it. Huh. Okay. Well, that's so the reason that happened was, if I was to show you what my project properties were, and if I was to run the game with the shaders being visible in the editor, the game would look like this. Because this has got the shaders being applied to it, and basically when the shaders first run, everything's black, and I change everything afterwards. So the fact that I've painted all these things, these certain greens and stuff, is kind of irrelevant, because what I do is I grayscale it before it renders to the screen, and then I run a contrast so that only 4 colors can play. So technically I could color this any old color, but it would crunch the colors down so there's only 4 colors. Then I apply the 4 chosen colors based on these RGB values, which are the ones that get crunched down by this contrast, and that means I can just change these 12 values on the fly, and then it changes the whole game. That's how I'm doing it. There's probably nicer ways of doing it, it's just this is how I do it. But the problem is I'm now changing just one asset and not a layer, which is really, really annoying, and I bet I didn't comment it out. I bet I just deleted it. Because I was getting that... yeah, I was getting fed up with working on the game. Basically, I wanted to get it. I wanted to just, like, move on. Oh, I just saw something struck out. That better be what I think it is. Ho ho! This is great. So I think well, not all of them, but most of them, it looks like I actually saved the old data. So I don't have to type all that shit out again. That would be incredible if that's the case. Oh wait, what the fuck? Wait. Preview window, so layout. Which layout? I see, now I've just confused myself. So if the color select is 10, choose. What the fuck state was everything when I first saw it? So if I go back to preview effects, it should be, yeah, okay, so I'm going to turn it off. So yeah, basically I can tell if something's actually got a shader on it by previewing things. It's kind of annoying because I don't get to see what the stuff looks like, but it's just happens to be how I set the game up. Right, so what should where is it? What should happen now is I should be able to, if I can work out what this all means, set layer preview window, because that looks like it's still set up correctly. But I never use color 10, so that could be why. Right, fuck it. I'll go back to the first one. So, color 0 is obviously the start one. And I clearly don't have the original here, but if I copied this one and then type, this is kind of the thing I didn't want to do, but if I only have to do it once, I don't care, right? So I basically have to type in all these numbers manually. It's fine. It's just there isn't really a quick way of doing it. So I just have to do something annoying with this. And hope I don't do any typos, because that'll mean certain assets will be coloured wrongly and it will be really hard to work out which one it was. So it's like, this isn't really a very good method of working, but it's the one I've got. Okay, so dark was still the same. So what should happen now is the character should be green all the time. Well, that's annoying. It didn't work. Oh no. And my editor just crashed. Save your work, kids. Ah, fuck's sake. There ain't no coming back from that. Not when it goes white. That would be, that's probably an autosave crash, which I seem to get when I'm using Dropbox. So you should probably save your backups to Dropbox, but not your project. Because yeah, I've got to, kind of got to do that again. Excellent. Right. No. Kill it, dead. Yeah, that's fine. Back to Hall of Mirrors for a second. Yeah, so that's a lesson in saving. Yeah, save your work. To be honest, didn't really do a bunch then. It was mainly investigation, which, you know, is time consuming. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. But imagine I typed out all of that stuff. So what did I do? So obviously I fixed this problem, which I can do really quickly. I can also clean up the duplicates of the characters. Okay, that's not the end of the world. I'll just keep telling myself that. It's like, I just wasted a little bit of time. That's fine. Good lesson though. Save more often. God damn. Right, what is this attached to? It's in buttons. This is why I can't find it. It's in the folder called buttons. And it's nested quite far in. Like, that's crazy. I did think it was duplicated though. Right, so why is all of this struck out? Like, there's quite a lot here that isn't doing anything. This looks a bit like an accidental copy paste, but why would it be disabled? That's another thing, don't step away from your project for too long. And comment more often, like basically all of my menu stuff, there's no comments anywhere. Just because I've just been doing what I can. Just if it works, fine, move on. Which is fine if you happen to not make things too buggy. Right, okay, I've fixed that. That is fixed. Great, okay. Saving. Oh yeah, you should always save before you launch the game, because as you just saw then, sometimes launching the game, I think it can trigger an autosave, and if something weird's happening with Dropbox, in fact you can see Dropbox syncing sometimes, well you can't, I can. Yeah, basically if that's syncing, I think, and you're saving, something can go wrong and it can freeze the editor. Nobody commenting, so that's fine. Not that embarrassing. God, I am sweating. Terrible. Right. So, I need to get that guy back. Where is he? Preview window. And there you go, I found out what the problem is. So, I've obviously got, not on there, I've obviously got these, all of these values set up for this asset. I no longer have these same values set up for the layer. That's the problem. So what I do need to do is copy all these values to this layer. So I need to basically, in effect, add, what were they? Monitor contrast and the value changes. Right. So yeah, this hasn't been the most successful stream. It's a warning, if anything. Adjust HSL, yeah. Use saturation. No, I want to adjust RGB, don't I? Is it set color? Is that the one? Wow, that's weird. I've actually forgotten what I need to replace color. That's why it should be. Anyway, yeah, because inevitably now I need to copy paste a bunch of values. That's just not going to be very interesting for anyone to watch, I don't think. I might just cut the stream. Or just leave it going. I guess it doesn't matter. Yeah, basically, I think maybe that if I add these effects to the layer, I think it'll double up because they're on the layer and on the asset. So I think that might have been why I might have had to delete it off the layer so that the asset will work as well. If it's on that layer as well. That could be another way of doing it. So if I find out, it was in options, right? So if I'm setting it on these, I could just copy paste this, rename the asset to the, so I could just keep it on the asset instead of putting it on the layer anyway. all I need to do now is make sure that the setup's the same on both the assets. So 1.5, 75, 125. No. To be honest, I actually don't even know why I came up with these numbers. It's just kind of magical numbers that seem to just work. I should probably really know how this stuff works better, but it works. I'm not going to argue. 92, 217. Ah! To be honest, I could open this up in Notepad++ or something and do like a mass XML like sort of change. That could, I mean, it would be a lot quicker actually to do it that way. Right, let's try this. So in theory, Jack should be black when I go in. And then when I choose color scheme 3, if I even have color scheme 3, you should light up. Oh. That's... right. So that lit him up. Right, okay. So because I added these, right. Yeah, so the reason I deleted it before was because you can't run two at the same time because I can't disable them. That makes a lot of sense. Where was it? So I don't even know if I actually have color 3. So I'm just going to do it with a few more. Just cover bases. This probably isn't an efficient way of doing it because I'm running 2 different shaders when I could just be running one, but there you go, it works. I currently only have these 2 textures ready, shaders set up, values for said shader. But yeah, that works. So if I was to go crazy with the colours, there you go, that one there is set up. That one's set up, that one's set up, that one's set up. Okay, great.